introduce exhibits.
Yeah, I'll just grant you permission to share and do it that way. Okay. All right, let's get on the record at this time in cause number 2018 DCM 8373. It's styled in the matter of the marriage of Oscar Arias and Lydia Gallegos. If I can hear announcements from the parties, please state your name and who you represent, please. Uh-oh, we lost Mr. Layer.
Lydia Gallegos.
Just a minute. I lost the lawyer here. I don't know why he dropped off.
So sorry about that, Judge.
Yeah, I lost you for a minute there. I had called the case, announced the cause number, the style of the case, and asked for announcements by asking that the lawyers introduce themselves and who they represent.
Your Honor, my name is Irvin Lair. I represent petitioner, Father Oscar Arias, who's the father of the children subject to this matter.
Okay.
Daniel Navejas, Your Honor. I represent respondent Lydia Gallegos.
All right, and both parties ready to proceed here today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who's the petitioner in the case?
Petitioner is Oscar Arias.
Okay. All right. Are you going to have witnesses to testify in this case other than the clients here?
I am, Your Honor, and I invoke the rule as well.
All right. I'm going to get all the witnesses in just a minute and swear them in and place them under the rule. But right now, let me go ahead and swear the parties in. Ms. Gallegos, Mr. Arias, would you please raise your right hand to be sworn, please? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
To comply with the open court's provision of the Texas Constitution, this trial here today is being live streamed through YouTube. And if anybody wants to watch the proceedings, they're welcome to do that through the YouTube channel. Okay, let me let the witnesses in and get them sworn in and placed under the rule. All right, I have here on this the Zoom proceeding witnesses Michael Varela, Carlos Macias. Would you please unmute yourself, sir? Anita Macias, would you unmute yourself, please, Ms. Macias? Mr. Gilardo Arias, please unmute yourself. And Mr. Collins, unmute yourself. Kaylin Powell, unmute yourself, please. There's a little red microphone, red. Click that and we'll be able to hear you. You'll be able to, well, you can hear us anyway, but okay, Mr. Mr. Macias and Ms. Macias, please hit the little red microphone button. Okay. Ms. Macias, Anita?
Yes.
Okay. Now I heard some reverb. Ms. Macias, I cannot see you. Mr. Macias, I cannot see you. Ms. Powell, I cannot see you. Okay. Now, Ms. Macias, I think it was yours. You might have another device turned on. Turn it off because you get a reverb. If you have a phone or some other device that's on, turn it off. Unmute.
Okay. Is that better?
Yes, much.
Okay.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you are witnesses in this case. Mr. Varela, Mr. and Mrs. Macias, Gilardo Arias, and Hal Collins and Kalen Powell. Would you all raise your right hand to be sworn as witnesses? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
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 All the witnesses have indicated affirmatively. You can drop your hands. The rule is invoked. That means that while the testimony is being taken in the courtroom, you cannot discuss anything about this case amongst yourselves as witnesses or with anyone else for that matter, unless you receive permission of the court. You can discuss the matters pertaining to this case with the lawyers in this case, Mr. Layer or Mr. Navejas, but it has to be away from the hearing of the other witnesses. Once you testify, you can't discuss what your testimony was with any other person except the lawyers, as I mentioned. Does anyone have any question about what their obligations are under the rule?
No.
Okay, you're gonna be placed back in the waiting room. Okay, and when it's your turn to testify, then I'll let you in. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Okay, all right. Mr. Layer, Ms. Navejas, you're welcome to make an opening comment if you want to, or we could just proceed with call your first witness.
Well, Your Honor, just briefly, the issue in this case, at least for petitioner, is to be designated as the primary with the right to establish the residence of the children as well as make educational decisions. We are looking for guideline support, but that's secondary to the primary purpose here today. So, the kids live in Tarrant County with father for about 2.5 years. And so they're well established. And we're just really asking the court to, just maintain the home environment, schedule, and routines of the children. Nothing
Thank
further.
you, Mr. Navejas, do you wish to make a comment?
Yes, my client's sort of requesting identical relief, Your Honor. My client's asking to be designated the parent with the right to determine the children's primary residence. For most of the children's time since the date of divorce of the parties, the children resided with my client. However, upon her deployment to Korea, as previously testified to in the temporary orders in this case, my client left the children with Mr. Arias. There was an agreement that upon her return from Korea, she would pick up the children, but obviously that didn't happen. We're also asking for guideline child support, but again, as Mr. Layer testified, that's secondary to being named primary.
Thank you, gentlemen, for that outline. Okay, Mr. Layer, you may call your first witness, and if you will.
Yes, Your Honor, at this time, I call Mr. Arias petitioner in this matter.
He is under oath, and you may proceed.
Mr. Arias, state your full legal name for the record.
My full legal name is Oscar Arias.
And who are the kids subject to this litigation?
Excuse me?
who are the children subject to this litigation? Can you give their names and their birthday?
Yeah, Oscar Arias, August 18th, 1990, and Jacob Arias, November 29th, 2013.
And so how old are the children today?
How old are they? They are 10 and 11.
Okay. And you heard a brief opening statement. Are you asking the court to grant you as the primary?
That is correct.
And why are you asking the court to grant you that relief?
The reason I'm asking the court is because I've had the kids for over 2 years now, and they're in good health. They're doing well in school, academically and behavioral, as well as they're in extracurricular activities and sports. But most importantly is because of, I'm not here because I just want them here. I'm here because the children have asked me that they want to live here. And if things were the other way and they wanted to live with their mom, I would 100% support that. I just want what's best for the kids. And if that was with their mom, I would support that. But since my kids have asked me, hey, Dad, we want to live with you, that's why we are here today.
Okay. And prior to the 2 years, 2.5 years, the kids have been with you, did they live solely with respondent?
We've been divorced for 5 years, so not the entire time. When we were in El Paso, I would see the kids regularly. And then when they were in Alabama, I would still see the kids for Christmas, summer, and spring break.
Okay. And I'm going to put an exhibit on the screen, if I may, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right. Let's see, share screen.
Is it on? I'm sure it is. I did. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Mr. Arias, these series of text messages relate to a long string here. Can you read at the top, very top of this exhibit here and give me that date?
It is September 8th, 2023.
And who is the party listed above that date?
Lydia.
Okay, and who is Lydia?
Lydia is the mother of my 2 kids, Oscar and Jacob.
Okay, and Miss Lydia is here today, correct? As a party?
That is correct.
Okay. Can you read this? Well, first of all, let me back up. So do you recognize these text messages?
Yes, that's between me and Lydia.
Okay, and this is an accurate depiction of what you recall that day?
That is correct.
Okay, can you read into the court what this box in white is saying?
It says, crying over money when I told you prior to leaving the States that I wouldn't. Now I'm wrong, LOL. Should have brought them with me like I wanted to, so I didn't have to hear your mouth on this same subject that I told you about.
All right, can you add some context to what this is relating? What does it mean, should have brought them with me like I wanted? What is your understanding of that?
She's saying,
or recollection, I'm sorry.
She's saying that she should have brought her kids with her to Korea so that I wouldn't be asking her for help financially with the kids while they were with me for those 2 years.
And also, we at a temporary orders hearing, it's on the record testimony that Miss Lydia wanted to leave the children with her brothers and not with you in the first place. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And can you read this white box right here for the court?
Yeah, rather it would save time if you just let me read it. I can.
Okay.
Yeah, rather than repeating it.
All right. So rather than repeat it, can you explain what's happening right here? What's going on? But actually, I do, Mr. Arias. Can you?
She's essentially saying that she buys the kids what they need.
Okay, can you read that last sentence for me at the very end?
I should have brought them, and I will never again give you an option to keep them when I go overseas again.
Okay, and what is your understanding of what that means?
It means that she won't give them to me again if she gets the kids back.
Okay, Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to enter petitioner's exhibit 006.
Any objection to these exhibits, Mr. Navejas?
No objection.
Petitioner 6 is admitted.
All right, let's see, hold on. I'm gonna have you read one more or discuss another one. So here, and this is part of the same string, but here's another text message here. Can you explain to the court what that third box represents? What Miss Gallegos was trying to state here?
Yeah, she's pretty much saying that she can do whatever she wants, whenever she wants, when the kids are with her.
Okay, and why is that? What is she saying about her lawyer there?
That's because when we got divorced 5 years ago, she got full custody of the kids.
And that was by default judgment, right?
Correct.
And we talked about that at the temporary orders hearing. That's on the record. That was due to mistake, not any intentional disregard on your own. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what she's saying by agreement here, what does that refer to?
The agreement is she's pretty much that she would get the kids and I would ask for nothing.
Okay, wait a minute. That she would get the kids or that you would get the kids when she went to Korea?
Oh, that she would get that I would get the kids when she went to Korea, and that I would ask for nothing in return while she was away and I had the kids.
Okay. So that's how the kids came to be with you, as if you didn't ask for anything. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was like she said, I'll let you have the kids, but don't ask me for anything.
All right. And that was after we established that she was initially going to leave the kids with her brother. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. I'd like to enter petitioner exhibit 036.
Any objection to that?
No objection at this time.
36 is admitted.
So, Mr. Arias, does respondent threaten you frequently with not seeing the children?
That is correct.
Okay, can you explain to the court any other time or incident or recollection of such threats?
Yeah, like just this last Christmas, she was gonna come get the kids and move them back to El Paso in the middle of the school year.
Okay, explain the circumstances giving rise to that incident. Please explain to the court.
After Lydia was served for this case, she was upset that I was trying to gain custody of the children and said that she would be coming down here for Christmas to obtain the children and move them back to El Paso.
Okay, that's right. So we discussed that at the temporary orders hearing, and she threatened to get the police and did get the police involved as well. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And she did not attempt to get the kids prior to being served with this petition of this matter. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so in your opinion, would it have been in the best interest for that to happen to the kids?
Absolutely not, especially that they were doing well in school.
Okay, and let me ask you this. I mean, would it be in the kids' best interest for them not to be able to see or talk to you?
No.
Would it be in the kids' best interest if respondent carried out her threats and took the kids overseas upon her next deployment for the kids to go with her?
No, it would not.
Okay. Now, in your household, is there any other adult living with you?
It's just me and the boys.
Okay. Is there a lot of conflict or fighting at your household?
Absolutely not. No conflict.
Do you fight with any or don't get along with any of your neighbors?
I get along with all of my neighbors.
All right. Now, to your understanding and personal experience only, don't guess, don't speculate. But does respondent get along with any other adult living in her household?
No, she does not. She has a lot of arguments with her husband.
Okay, explain how you know that.
This is something my kids have expressed to me that was previously.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Well, we're
Mr.
not, okay, don't state what the kids told you specifically, just only your impression and understanding. I know that's hard to do, but we can't talk about a party who's
Okay.
not present before the court. So just only talk about your personal knowledge and experience or impression, and that's it. Don't refer to what anyone else said.
That is correct.
Okay. So, and who else is living with respondent in the house? What's the name of the other adult or her husband? I mean,
Michael Varela.
and is it your understanding and impression that they fight in front of the children?
That is correct.
Okay.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation. How would Mr. Arias possibly know what happens in my client's household when he lives in Fort Worth without having been told by somebody else?
Well, and again, he's talking about his personal experience and impression of what he has received in communications. He's not referring to any third party, not before the court.
You have to form these impressions or experiences based upon your own experiences, not what someone told you. In particular, you cannot form them based on, you cannot testify. If your impressions are based on what your children told you, then that is invalid. Okay? Mr. Arias, it's got to be your own independent knowledge in that regard. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any independent knowledge other than what someone told you about what goes on in her household?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, proceed.
All right, I'll ask it differently. To your knowledge, have you had to call the police to respondent's household?
That is correct.
And why is that?
For issues that were related to my daughter, Naomi Lopez.
Okay. And she's a daughter that you share with respondents, right? But you're not the biological father.
That's correct. She also lived
Okay.
with me the last 2 years.
All right, so we'll move on from that. So let me bring another exhibit up here. All right, hold on. I can't introduce that. Okay, can you read the date on this text message right here?
April 9th, 2023.
And do you recognize the topic or conversation of these series of text messages?
Yes, it was. I was trying to communicate with Lydia how the kids have been feeling about living with me, and also as well as how they've been treated living with her.
Okay, so before we get too far into that, is this an accurate depiction of what you recollect from this series of text messages?
That is correct.
Okay, so talk about this text at 2:20 p.m. You don't have to read it to the court can read, but can you explain the situation giving rise to this conversation?
Yeah, I've been trying to tell Lydia that the kids would be better off living with me in Tarrant County.
Okay, and why did you tell her that?
Because I think that I think it's in the best interest of the children to live with their father here in Tarrant County.
Okay, so you said with all three of my kids, the love and attention they deserve. So what do you mean by attention and love that they deserve?
Well, Lydia's household is a family of 7, and over here it's a family of 3. So I can give my kids more time and attention.
Okay, and what was her response to that?
She said that she really couldn't didn't get into a conversation and got defensive and pretty much made it sound that with the moment she got back, she was going to be getting them.
Okay, and what's this text that she says at 2:22 p.m.? What is that about?
She said she's making it personal there. I just
Okay.
want what's best for the kids.
Okay, and so what was your response to that?
I said that I would not even be bringing this up to her if it wasn't for something that was expressed to me.
Okay, so again, you stated this earlier, and just to repeat what you said, you feel like it's in the kids' best interest and wishes that they remain with you.
That is correct.
Okay, and what do you mean about this personal servant and babysitter stuff?
That's when the kids over there have to do a lot of the chores, and that's okay. Those are her house, her rules. But when the kids are having to do almost everything,
I'm going to object, Your Honor. How would Mr. Arias have personal knowledge of what they're doing at Miss Gallegos's home unless he was physically there?
Your Honor, this is against party interests here, against respondent, and both people declarants to this text message are before the court right now.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
All right. So at 2:26, you state another text message. Can you explain the basis of that?
yeah, it's stating that I want my daughter to have a great relationship with her mother.
Okay. Is there any text message that respondent could put before the court where you threaten to keep the kids away from respondent when they're with you?
No,
Okay, so there's, to your knowledge, recollection, there's no text message that respondent could put forward where you're threatening respondent with, not being able to see the kids.
no, never.
But respondent we've seen here has threatened you a few times with not being able to see the kids. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So if the kids remain with you, you would just request standard possession access. Is that correct? I think we established that. I'm sorry.
That's correct.
So we established that at the temporary orders hearing. And is that request still true to this day?
That's correct.
Okay. So let's see here. And again, is there a lot of sorts of conflict or fighting at your house between you, any other adult, or with the children?
No,
And you stated earlier that the kids are performing well in school, and we talked about that at the last hearing. Is that still true?
that is correct.
Okay, I'm going to present a couple exhibits here regarding the kids' performance in school. And can you explain this exhibit right here, please, for the court? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's Jacob's final report card over on the far right where it says FIN. Those were all his final grades for the school year. He has a 90, a 77 in math, and then an 87 and an 89.
And this is for the school year just concluded, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so he got A's and B's except for 77 in math.
Yeah, he was in tutoring. He was in math tutoring as well.
Okay, he has been able to, looks like, get some B's during the course of the year. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And who is this for again?
For Jacob Arias.
Okay, and how old is he?
He's 10.
Your Honor, I'd like to admit petitioner exhibit 078.
Commissioner Vet has any objection?
No objection to this.
P78 is admitted.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Let me increase. Well, explain who is this report card for?
That's Oscar's report card, his final report card from the school year.
And this is for the school year just concluded, is that correct?
That's correct.
And let me back up. Does respondent have equal access to these report cards?
Yes.
Okay. And explain what kind of grades Oscar got during the last school year.
Oscar got A's and B's.
A, B, so he made A, B honor roll, is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, at this time, I'd like to admit petitioner's exhibit 079.
Any objection?
No objection.
P79 is admitted.
All right, hold on here. Oops. Mr. Arias, can you explain what this picture represents?
That's a list of all the students. It's displayed in the cafeteria of the school that are on the A-B honor roll.
Okay, and I see Oscar's on this list. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And Jacob missed it by A-B honor roll by 3 points, right? Because he ended up with a 77 in one of his classes.
That's correct.
Okay, and for what school is this for?
That's for Kerr Middle School here in Burleson.
Okay, I'd like to admit petitioner's exhibit 087.
Any objections?
No objection.
P87 is admitted.
All right. So the kids are doing well in school. Is that correct?
That's correct.
We've established that. And you've also got tutoring for Jacob. Is that correct? So they have resources they need to be successful. I mean, would you agree?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's take a look at a couple others here. Let's see, where is it? Mr. Arias, can you explain who the people are in this picture?
Yeah, that's myself. The Jacob is on my lap. Oscar is right beside me. Naomi is right beside Oscar, and then that's my girlfriend and her daughter.
Okay, so these two. So this is Jacob right here,
Correct.
and that's Oscar.
Yeah, that's when I went to go visit the kids in Atlanta when they were living in Alabama.
Okay, okay. And can you explain what this picture represents right here?
That's actually my daughter's room, Naomi's room.
Sorry. Can you explain this slide right here?
Yeah, that's the boys' closet with their shoes and their clothes.
All right, so it looks like they have plenty of shoes and boxes, clothes. And what's this a closet of? Is this in your house? Can you explain this picture to the court, please?
Yeah, that's in the boys' room. The boys share a room. They share bunk beds.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to admit petitioner's exhibit 052.
Any objections?
No objection.
P52 is admitted.
And we're just talking about the household where these kids reside. And these are these the bunk beds you were just referring to?
Yes, that's correct.
And please explain this picture to the court. What is this a picture of?
Those are the boys' beds and all the posters that they've bought or gotten for their rooms over the years.
Okay, so is this typically what this room looks like?
Yes, Oscar's a neat freak. Yes, that's correct.
And do you have the boys clean the room and keep the room clean?
Yes, that is correct. I don't really have to tell them anything. They take care of it.
Okay, I'd like to admit petitioner's exhibit 053.
No
Objections?
objection. No objection.
P53 is admitted.
All right, just a couple more. We're just trying to cover the household here. And what is this a picture of, Mr. Arias?
That's the other side. That's the other wall of the boys' room. They're huge Texas Ranger and sports fans.
Okay, we don't need to go through that. Let's go to the next one. And what is this a picture of?
Of my countertop in the kitchen as well as the living room.
Okay, so this is the general living area, common area of the house. Is that correct in my understanding?
That's correct.
All right. And do you keep the house pretty clean?
Yes, correct.
All right. Who cleans the house?
Mostly myself
Okay.
and the boys.
And the boys?
Yes,
Do the boys have chores in the household?
that is correct.
Okay, I'd like to admit petitioners exhibit 055.
No objection.
Okay, one more.
55 admitted.
Let me do one more. Where'd it go? Mr. Arias, can you explain what this picture represents?
That's the home that we live in. That's the basketball hoop I put up for Jacob.
Okay, and you stated earlier you do get along with your neighbors. You don't fight with your neighbors at all.
That's correct.
And do the kids get along with the other kids in the neighborhood?
Absolutely.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to admit petitioners exhibit 060.
Any objection?
No objection.
60 is admitted.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing screen at this time.
Okay.
Mr. Arias, before I hand you off here, what would be the difference in the kids being raised in your household as opposed to respondent's household? I mean, what just in your opinion, don't guess, speculate, or anything. Just why is
family? I would say family.
Okay, and what does that mean? Because respondent's family as well.
Everything here with their friends in the neighborhood, their friends in school, and all the cousins and aunt and uncles that they have here in Fort Worth, DFW area. They have a large family is very important.
And we've established you wouldn't threaten or deny access to respondent should the court place the kids in your household. Is that correct?
Absolutely not. It's important for them to be closer to their mother.
And you're not going to try and deny access for mother to the kids, are you?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, but we have seen threats of denial of access from respondent against you. Is that correct? We've established that?
That's correct.
All right, pass witness at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Navejas, your witness.
Okay. How many bedrooms is in your residence, Mr. Arias?
4.
4. Okay. And where do you work? What do you do for a living?
I'm a auto mechanic. Auto mechanic.
Where at?
5-star Ford in North Richland Hills.
And how far is Richland Hills from your home?
About 25 minutes.
And what is your work schedule?
My work schedule is 8 to 4.
8 to 4. And where are the children while you're at work?
They're at school.
Okay. What time do they attend school?
Jacob leaves the house at 7:15. I'm still here. Oscar leaves the house at 7:30. I'm still here.
What time do they get out of school?
Oh, they get out of school at 4:15 and they get home at 4:15 and 4:30.
Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to object to this line of questioning as asked and answered. We already covered all this at the temporary orders hearing.
Overruled. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. And if they get out at 4:15 and you get out of work at 4:25, I'm sorry, at 4 o'clock, and it takes you 25 minutes, do you pick them up from school every day?
No, but one of my sons rides the bus and the other one rides his bike.
Okay. And are they ever home alone?
No.
Okay. And what is your current pay?
My current pay is $27 plus, it depends. It's heavily based on bonuses
So you get paid $27 an hour plus commission? Is that
plus
correct?
commission.
Okay. And if for whatever reason you were called into work or you had some kind of emergency, who would
I'm sorry, you cut out.
who would the children be with if for some reason you had some emergency or couldn't be at home?
My mother, or a neighbor, or my brother, or my girlfriend, or Lydia's brother, or Lydia's grandmother, or Lydia's mother.
Okay. And you testified that where does your girlfriend live?
My girlfriend lives in North Richland Hills.
Okay. The same city you work in.
Yeah.
Okay. And you testified that my client threatened to deny you access to the children, but isn't it true that she allowed you to see the children even though she was under no obligation to do so per the divorce decree?
That's correct.
Okay. And did she send you money while she was in Korea at all?
No.
Okay. And you testified that my client has a family of, I believe you said 7 people living in her home.
That's correct.
Okay. And how many of them are siblings to your boys?
3 of them.
Okay. And you believe it's in their best interest to be separated from their siblings?
In this case, yes.
Okay. At this time, I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
I just have about 4 follow-up. Mr. Arias, you mentioned Lydia's family living near you. Can you explain who they are?
Yeah, she has 2 brothers, her grandmother, her aunt, and her mother here in the area locally.
Okay, so that's a lot of family in the area. Do you get along with her family members?
Yes.
And have you and or the kids interacted and visited with respondent's family over there?
Yes. Birthday parties, graduations.
Okay, and what else? What other type of interactions?
There was an overlap in sports. All 3 of my kids are signed up in sports where her brother helped take Naomi to one of her soccer games.
Okay, so the children have family living near you on both sides of the family, yours and hers. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now the decree, we've already talked about this decree. It was obtained by default. I mean, that's still true, right?
That's correct.
And really you're looking for a modification of that default judgment. I mean, that's why we're here, right?
That's correct.
Okay, it's not because mom was deployed to Korea. I mean, is that right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, now per your testimony on cross-examination, you mentioned that respondent gave you no money while she was in Korea. And we talked about that earlier as that was part of the agreement, right? That's how you got the kids if you didn't ask for any money.
That's correct.
Now, did that put an extreme financial burden on you?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And did you ask for respondent to ever pay for anything, extracurricular activities, purchases, or anything like that?
Yes.
And what was her response to you?
I signed Oscar up for band. She said, you signed him up, you deal with it.
Okay. So she gave you no money for Oscar to go to band?
No.
Okay. Now we talked about the siblings in El Paso. Who are the other children, and what is your relation to the other children in respondent's household?
Well, 2 of the other children are the children she has with her husband. And then the other one is Naomi Lopez, who was also living with me the last 2 years.
Okay, so how many children are you the biological father of?
2.
And those two are what you're asking the court to, have remain with you in your household. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is there anything wrong with that?
No.
All right, pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Arias, did you consult with my client before signing up your son for band?
Yes.
And did she say that it was okay?
She didn't care.
Okay, as long as you paid for it?
Money wasn't discussed.
Well, if money wasn't discussed, why is it you asked her to pay for band?
Once I signed him up, I told her how much things would be. Told her I could take care of the monthly cost of the instrument, but she wouldn't even help pay for just the sign up, for the initial sign up.
Okay, nothing further, Judge.
Nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to call Anita Macias, please.
All right. Okay, Ms. Macias, you've been called as a witness. At this time, you're under oath. You may proceed, Mr. Layer.
Ms. Macias, please state your full name for the court.
It is Anita Macias.
And what is your relationship to Oscar Arias?
I am married to his cousin.
You're married to his cousin. And are you related to respondent Ms. Gallegos at all?
No, I am not.
Okay. And please describe your interaction with Mr. Arias. How often do you see him?
Him and my husband are pretty close, so we see him, and when he has the kids, maybe 2-3 times a month.
Okay. And so do you and your husband interact with the children as well?
We do.
And have you seen my client interact with the children?
I do.
And what type of interaction is that? Can you explain to the court how the children and my client interact? Is it fatherly? Is it cold? What is it?
It's fatherly. I mean, during the times that we have, like the kids are off for school for like the summer when he does have them, or like the winter breaks, he's always wanting to do things with like the kids, so that his kids and our kids, he wants to do bowling. He likes to invite us over to like their basketball games. I mean, he's fatherly and with them.
Yeah, I kind of led you a little bit with that fatherly, so I'm gonna try and change tracks here.
Yeah, sorry. I know.
No,
I
no,
was like, I don't know what's a good word to describe, honestly.
No, it's my fault. I'm sorry. So have you seen Mr. Arias treat the children harshly?
No.
Have you seen Mr. Arias?
As a parent, I have to get on and say, like, don't do this, or, like, never
Oh,
harsh.
so that was going to be my next question. Have you ever seen Mr. Arias discipline the children in any form or manner?
No. I mean, like, physically, no. Like, when it comes to, like, hey, when he walks into the room and say, like, hey, make sure that you say hi to everyone, or, like, don't forget your manners, or things like that. I've seen that, but never any kind of
Okay, thank you. Have you ever witnessed or do you have any knowledge of my client doing any drugs, illegal drugs?
No.
Okay, are you aware, or do you have any knowledge of my client drinking in front of the children or being intoxicated in front of the children?
We have barbecues. I mean, we have, beer out, but not like where we're intoxicated or he's intoxicated. No.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was trying to look for. In your opinion, and in your opinion only, how are the kids doing here living with Mr. Arias?
I mean, they have their extra curricular activities. They're in basketball. I know that the daughter, well, right now we're not talking about the daughters, just the sons. Okay. They have basketball. They're always in sports. They're always.
So have you witnessed the kids being social and interacting well with their peers?
Yes.
is it your personal knowledge or experience that the children have a pretty good social network?
Yes.
And to your personal knowledge and experience only, are the kids developing socially well?
Yes. I mean, they
Uh,
have their friends with school, they have their cousins here. Well, we consider, cousins, with all of our children and all of the families that we have here.
okay. Ms. Macias, I thank you for your time. I pass the witness at this time.
Your witness, counsel.
Okay, have you ever met Miss Gallegos, Miss Macias?
Many, many, many years ago.
Okay, so have you seen her interact with the children?
I mean, honestly, that was more than, I don't know how long they've been gone. Honestly, it's probably been like since the kids were very small interactions.
Okay. So it's fair to say you have no idea how she currently interacts with her children.
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further this witness, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm done with the witness. And can we have her released?
Yes, Ms. Macias, you are released. You can hit the little red end button and you can go about your business.
Macias, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to call my client's supervisor, Kaylin Powell. And again, Your Honor, I'm not going to get to all these witnesses. It depends on what direction we go here, but this is the next one I want to call.
I understand. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. So Kaylin Powell's the person I'd like to call next, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Powell, you're called as a witness at this time. Well, she's connected to audio.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
There you go. Ms. Powell, if you turn on your video, please. She's having connection problems, it looks like.
Yeah, I got kicked out earlier. So.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Powell, you've been called as a witness. So
Yeah.
you're under oath, so you may proceed, Mr. Layer.
Ms. Powell, please state your full name for the record.
It is Kaylin Lee Powell.
And what is your relationship to my client, Oscar Reyes?
Employer.
Okay, so he works for you, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And what kind of employee is Mr. Reyes?
He's very dependable. He's very respectable. Respectable to the people he works with, and also the customers that we deal with love him. So they respect him as well.
Well, and let's talk about that. So when you say
Okay.
when you say dependable, what does that mean?
That means he shows up to work on time. He does what he's supposed to do. He gets, he doesn't ever really, something really has to be wrong for him to call in. So he doesn't miss work often. So he's dependable. I can depend that he's going to be here to do his job and do the right thing.
Okay, and you said he's respectable. Can you kind of clarify that for the court, please?
Okay, so couple of things. As you can tell, I'm a female. I work in a male-dominated industry. So a lot of the times I can not be as respected as a male in an authoritative figure, in an authoritative position. That does not faze Oscar. He still treats me just as I was any other superior to him. That does not matter. So he's very respectable in that way. And by doing the right thing with his job, his customers respect him as well.
Okay, perfect. All right. And what type of character does Mr. Reyes has? How would you describe his character? What type of person? And really what I want to know is what type of person is he?
Okay, so you know, from just like our company outings and stuff like that, he's very outgoing. He's very upbeat. He's not ever bringing anybody down for anything. Um, I just, he's a very nice and easy person to get along with, if that makes any sense. Very outgoing.
Okay, perfect. Um, and you haven't had to discipline him for anything or write him up for anything?
No, I have not actually.
Okay. And just by chance, have you seen my client interact with the children at any of the company outings or events?
Yes, he brings them to all the company events that we have.
Okay. And how has he interacted with his children at these events? What have you observed?
That they like from him, he's very involved with them as to what they're doing together. He's you know, he's not just like letting them run off to do whatever they want to do. He's always right there next to them. And you know, from the kids, honestly, wish my 9-year-old, my 6-year-old were as well behaved as his kids are as well.
Okay.
They're very respectable as well.
Okay. And so have you ever witnessed or do you have any personal knowledge of my client treating the kids harshly?
No, not at all. No.
Have you ever witnessed or do you have any personal knowledge of my client harshly disciplining the children?
No.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Okay, Ms. Powell, have you ever met my client, Lydia Gallegos?
No, I have not.
Okay, so it's fair to say you've never seen her interact with the children.
That is correct. I've never seen her interact with the children.
Okay, what type of hours does Mr. Arias have?
He works from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Sometimes he'll get off a little earlier to do things with the kids, but that's always, you know, typically prearranged or just when his job is done.
Okay, and is that Monday through Friday? Is that Monday through Sunday? I mean, what days of the week is that? How many days?
Monday. It's Monday through Friday only, no weekends.
Okay, all right. Nothing further. Pass the witness.
Nothing further. May this witness be released, Your Honor?
Yes, any objection to that, Mr. Navejas?
No objection.
All right, Ms. Powell, you are released. You can hit the end button there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd like to reserve my time for rebuttals.
Okay, let's take about 10 minutes, 10-minute break.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Oscar, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Don't go too far.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, if we can get back on the record, please.
Thank you for letting us get that break, Judge.
Not a problem. All right. Let me see. Mr. Navejas says to get back on, and Mr. Arias. Mr. Navejas, if you're available.
I am, Judge. Sorry
Okay,
about that.
I didn't see you there. Okay, there you go. Okay, Mr. Layer, who will be your next witness?
Your Honor, at this time, we're going to go ahead and pass. I'll save my time for rebuttals.
All right, Mr. Navejas, who will you have?
Okay, I would call Lydia Gallegos.
Ms. Gallegos is under oath. You may proceed.
Okay. Would you please state your name for the record? Ms. Gallegos, you're muted.
My name is Lydia Sofia Nicole Gallegos,
Okay. And where do you currently reside?
45262 13th Calvary Circle, 79904 El Paso, Texas.
And how long have you lived there?
This will be my 10th month living in this residence.
Okay. And how big is that home?
It's 6 bedrooms,
Okay. And how many people reside there?
7.
Okay. And who are those people?
My husband, my daughter, my other daughter, and my 2 boys. My 3 boys, I'm sorry.
Okay. And what do you do for a living, Ms. Gallegos?
I am currently unemployed. I ETS
How
out
long
of
have you been unemployed?
since September 1st was the official date of the no contract.
Okay.
2023.
And why did you leave the Army?
So that I could be home with the kids every single day.
Okay. And in your opinion, who should your children live with? The children that are the subject of this suit.
They should reside with me.
Okay. And who should they visit?
They should visit their father.
Okay. Do you believe that to be in their best interest?
I do.
Okay. From the date you got divorced, when was your divorce, by the way?
My divorce was March 20, March, I think it was when we signed off on the date, the court date.
Correct. What year was it?
Oh, 2019 March.
Okay. And from 2019, when did you deploy to Korea?
I left in October. I got my orders for 2022.
Okay.
No.
And between the time you got divorced and the time you deployed, how many times did Mr. Arias see the children?
When I was stationed in El Paso, he probably saw them twice a week, and that was on Saturday and Sunday. But when I got stationed in Alabama and Georgia, he saw them probably 3 times the whole duration that I was there. 3 times.
And what was the duration you were in Alabama and Georgia?
2 years.
Okay. So in a 2-year period, he saw them 3 times?
That is correct.
Okay. And when did you drop the children off with Mr. Arias?
The school year was starting for that school year, so it was 2022.
And why did you drop them off with Mr. Arias?
I dropped them off with Mr. Arias because I did believe, after we spoke about the conditions that would be happening surrounding the deployment, because he hadn't seen them in so long, and I did want them to see their father, but every time I did ask, it was always, I can't because I'm working, or can you meet me halfway? And 2 out of those 3 times I met him 6 hours out of my out of the, just being nice.
Okay. And when did you most recently see your children?
Just recently, the drop off was July 6th at 6:30 p.m. at the Lowe's parking lot in El Paso.
Okay. And for how long a period of time were they with you?
42 days.
Okay. And what is your children's routine like when they're with you?
So the routine is in the morning, they wake up, it's either they tell me what they want me to make, or they want to just get some cereal or whatever is fruit in the morning, because I know my youngest really doesn't like to eat in the morning. So they eat, and then we go for a walk, which is probably maybe 6 blocks, because I don't like it when it's too hot. They grab their basketballs, and we do this every day. And they walk with their basketballs, dribbling it, and then we come home. They either get on the PS5, because I have 3, so they either get on the PS5 upstairs, downstairs, or in the other room, and they all play against each other for about maybe 2 hours. They eat lunch, and then we go back outside, and I'm usually doing something in the backyard for them so that I can keep an eye on them, because sometimes when they're playing basketball or when they're playing baseball, what is it called? A thorn usually gets in their crock. So I'm always there to make sure that doesn't happen. And then they're swimming in the backyard. And right after that, they go and just relax until dinner time. And then after dinner, we go for another walk. And it's maybe just shorter. And just because the summer consists of it being so hot that I don't want them to be always inside doing nothing, and then we always consistently go to the library as well.
Okay. And how many children do you have in total?
5.
And how many of them are under age 18?
All 5.
Okay. And what are your children's ages?
16, 11, 10, 5, and 2.
Okay. And do you believe it would be in the children's best interest to separate them from their siblings?
No, I do not.
Okay. And are your children close?
Yes, very close.
And of your 5 children, how many currently live with you?
All 5. Prior to this, they all 5 lived with me, but the 3 remain with me.
Okay. Would it be in your children's best interest to keep them together?
Yes.
And are you asking that you and Mr. Arias be named joint managing conservators of the children?
Yes.
Where would your children go to school if they lived with you?
So there is a elementary that's only accepted by the military. They're all it's a school. I live on post, but it's also off post. So the school that's designated inside my living residential area is only for military students. So the school is a block away, and it's an elementary. It's called Colin Powell Elementary. And Oscar will be going to another military school, which is also inside my military residence. And that's maybe 7 blocks away. And that is called Captain Navarro Middle School.
Okay. And how far are these schools from your home?
One is 1 block away, 2 blocks away. I mean, if you're gonna walk, which I would not, it's about 2 blocks away. And then the other one is about 7 blocks away. The middle school is 7 blocks away.
Okay, and would you be able to pick them up and drop them off from school?
Yes, I would.
And are you asking that you have the exclusive right to determine where they go to school?
Yes.
When they lived with you, where did they attend school?
In Alabama, they attended the school that was just nearest to me because I did not live on post.
Okay, and what about in El Paso? Did they attend school in El Paso?
Yes, they did. They attended this an elementary school that was up the street from my on off post housing, which was Travis Elementary.
Okay, and how long did they attend Travis Elementary?
I would say about 2 years because I was here for no, I mean maybe three years because I was here in El Paso for 2 years, almost 3 until I got
And-
my order in Alabama.
Who would help them with their homework?
I did.
And do you know if they have any favorite subjects in school?
I know that deep down Oscar loves math, but he doesn't like to show it. And Jacob deep down loves reading, but he just doesn't like to show it.
Okay, and in total, how long have your children lived in El Paso?
A total prior to coming back to El Paso from Korea, 2 years, almost 3 that I was stationed here.
Okay. And what was the name of your children's pediatrician?
It is Dr. I believe I have it right here, Dr. Roberts, and that is an on-post clinic.
And who takes them to their doctor's appointment?
I do.
And how is their health and medical and dental insurance provided?
It's provided through TRICARE Prime. It's an insurance given to the military soldiers
And is that provided by you or by Mr. Arias?
by me.
Okay. And who prepares the children's meals?
I do.
Do they have any favorite foods?
They do. Both my boys love the homemade wings my husband makes.
Okay. And do the children participate in extracurricular activities when they're with you?
Yes.
What did you have them do?
They both were in basketball in Alabama.
And you have a basketball court set up at your house?
That is correct.
Okay. And you heard Mr. Arias testify that they were involved in sports. How long were they involved in sports for over in Fort Worth, to the best of your knowledge?
From March until I believe it was March, April, until May. It was only about 6 weeks.
Okay, and did you attend any of their
Yes.
games?
When I came back from Korea, I did make some games. Yes, I did. Because
And
my
you heard-
daughter was Mhm.
And you heard Mr. Arias's testimony that you didn't provide any money to him when you were in Korea. Is that true?
That is very true. I did not provide any money. I
What did you provide, if anything?
provided every single thing through Amazon, but he
And-
wanted money.
But when you say every single thing, what do you mean?
I believe I bought in every single pair of shoes that they have in that closet that was shown in that picture. The basketball court that was provided in that picture I bought. He complained about that being too small. I provided the school clothes for the school year and the school supplies and the backpacks. I also provided an additional amount of money that my TRICARE wasn't, I guess, picking up because I paid for my TRICARE insurance through my job. So there was already a money going there. And then on top of that, I was paying for another half for the frames that my son would want or need. And so I was pretty much paying for 40% of it, and he was paying, and then my insurance was paying for a little bit of it, and then whatever portion he was paying.
Okay. And did you pay for any of the children's extracurricular activities while you were in Korea?
Yes, I did.
What did you pay for?
I paid for 2 seasons for Jacob, 1 season for Oscar, and after
And
this,
what sports?
basketball.
For both of them?
Yes.
Okay. And how close are your children?
I would say that when we were in Korea, my youngest son, almost every other day, he asked about his brothers. And he wasn't able to stay up late to talk to them because we were on 2 different time zones. But when he did talk to them, it was really sincere about how he just missed them and loved them. But they are very, very close to each other.
Okay. And if you could, Your Honor, I'd like to share the screen.
Okay, it's available.
Okay, let me see. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to show you some pictures, Ms. Gallegos, from a exhibit we have marked as R2. Would you please describe what you see in this picture?
Yes, that is my son's room.
And which son?
Jacob and Oscar.
Okay. And the next picture I have here, what is this picture depicting? And could you tell us what that date is?
Yes, 2021. I think that's an orca or a whale. We went to a aquarium in Georgia.
Okay. And could you tell the court what this picture is?
Yes, that is Legoland in Florida.
Okay. And I know this picture isn't very good, but what is this picture of?
My children at Universal.
Okay. And how about this picture?
That is a military beach in Florida.
All right. And
Your Honor,
this,
excuse me, please. Is counsel going to authenticate properly and enter any of these exhibits? Or are we just going to go through a slideshow?
Counsel, did you intend to introduce some of these before?
I did, Your Honor.
All right. Well, let's see. The only exhibit number I had was R2. I don't know if that included all of these photos or just the one.
It does include all of them, Your Honor.
Do you have any objections to R2, which consists of how many photos?
Yes. I'm going to object to improper authentication and foundation for entry of these exhibits.
Okay, well, on the record, I'm going to have to sustain the objection, Mr. Navejas. If you want to go through the authentication method, you're welcome to do so.
Okay. Would you please describe what you see in this first picture? I'll only go through a few then, Your Honor.
That's a custom made drawer that I had built for my boys. There's their PS5. On the wall is
Okay, wait a minute. I think the authentication is, are these photos that consist of R2, exhibit R2, all of them, do they fairly and accurately represent what they depict? Is the authentication.
Yeah, and Ms. Gallegos, these pictures in R2, are they a fair and accurate representation of what they depict?
Yes, that is correct.
And you took these pictures?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and these pictures demonstrate you in various locations with your children?
Yes, they are.
And others are pictures of your family, the home where you currently reside?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, how many pictures are part of R2?
Yeah.
I believe there are 44, Your Honor.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to maintain my objection as to 40 pictures attached to R2.
All right, just scroll down to the end, please, and you're going to have to make that exhibit available if it's admitted to the court reporter.
Okay.
I mean, these are supposed to be presented individually, but I mean,
That would have been the best way to do it. But since they're all in R2 and that's the way it was described, I accept that. Yeah, just scroll all the way down the bottom of it and stop at each one so that Mr. Lair can look at them.
Okay, let me know where you're at, Mr. Lair.
may Your Honor, I maintain the objection of improper authentication and foundation to 44 pictures attached to Exhibit R2.
Go on down. Let me look at them all. Go on, just go straight down. The very last one, go on.
I mean, Your Honor, the court can just rule on my objection. That's fine. We can move forward.
Well, I need to look at them all, see, make sure there's not anything.
Yep, that's it. The last one, Your Honor.
All right, there's some text part of it. What is that?
No, that's another exhibit, Your Honor.
Well,
this
it's
this
connected
image-
to R2.
No, it's marked R3, Your Honor. That text message.
Okay, the photos in R2, I'm going to overrule the objection. R2 is admitted, consisting of about 44 photographs. You're going to have to provide that medium in such a way that the court reporter is able to handle it. Okay, Mr. Navejas?
Okay, not a problem. And do I send that to the referral, the email?
Deborah, if you could take a break, let me ask you to go to you, Deborah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah. At the end, we'll tell you how to get it to Deborah Lee, the court reporter, okay?
But
Okay.
each exhibit needs to be in its own separate file. So if R2 has 44 photos, that one file should only contain 44 photos.
No, I've got it that way.
Got it.
I did it. It's just that typically, Your Honor, I'm not sure how often you're in El Paso, but typically the local rules state that all exhibits need to be in a single PDF file with each one marked. So that's why I have everything.
Well, then you violated that one because not each one are marked.
No. I meant from R1, R2, R3, R4, and so on.
Well,
So
no, see that's where look. Let's keep going, and then we'll straighten this out before we adjourn for the day. All right.
Okay, no problem. All right.
All right.
And Your Honor, how are we doing on time? We doing okay?
Just yes.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
I'll let
Sorry.
you know, but we do need to move on. That's what I'm trying to.
All right. And
Yeah.
I have no further questions of this witness right now.
Okay, you're a witness on cross-examination, Mr. Lair.
All right, thank you, Judge. Ms. Gallegos, we're here pursuant to my client filing a petition for modification. Is that your understanding?
Yes,
And the order to be modified was granted by default. Is that your understanding as well?
no, my understanding was that he was served and he did not want to show up. His exact words, did not want to show up because he did not want
Yeah.
to.
Objection, non-responsive to everything after no.
Yeah,
So-
ticket.
Just think, listen to the question and answer just as concisely as you can.
So the current order was granted by default. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, this past Christmas, you were served with a petition to modify. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And do you recall that about a week of Christmas, the week of Christmas, that you threatened and did come down to get the children from my client? Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay, and that was the week of Christmas, right?
No, it was probably about well, 5 days prior, 6 days prior. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. And you got the police involved, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And did you do that because there was any imminent danger or harm to the children?
No,
So were the kids being threatened in
no,
any way?
No.
Was there a physical or medical emergency?
no, my divorce decree stated that I was the sole.
Did,
So-
did you understand the question?
Yes, I did. No,
Okay.
no, they were
Thank
not.
you. Next question.
Okay, so then why did you think it was in the best interest of the children to pull them from their home the week of Christmas and during the middle of a school year?
I had just gotten back from Korea and I stated to Oscar that when I got back from Korea, that was our agreement. Our agreement was that when I got back from Korea, that I would receive my children back, but that was not the case.
Okay, and we covered this at the temporary orders hearing. So you, in fact, did not make plans to retrieve the children until you were served with the petition. Do you remember that testimony?
That's incorrect.
Okay, so again, let me ask you this then. Besides any agreement whatsoever, how would you think it was in the best interest of the children to withdraw from school in the middle of the school year, the week of Christmas? How would that benefit the kids in any way whatsoever?
Prior to that, he just wasn't answering my phone calls. He wasn't answering my text messages. He wasn't answering any of my emails to even cooperate with me as to when I would get them. It was blankly, no, I was blocked. So my other option was to have my divorce decree with the deputy to show that I came back from Korea and that we did have an agreement that I would get them back when I got back.
Okay, and do you have any evidence of text messages that substantiate your efforts to retrieve the children prior to being served?
I do, yes.
Okay, and you're going to present that, your counsel is going to present that to the court today, is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay, well, I hope so because you're making a broad allegation. So, I mean, do you have that to present to the court today or not?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, and we also covered that when you were deployed, as you referenced many times, that your initial plan was to either take them with you or leave the kids with your brother. Is that correct?
I believe we went over this in the first court hearing, but yes, that is correct.
Okay. And how would that be in the best interest rather than placing the kids with my client initially?
Because he works consistently. So he was working a lot of hours to make a certain amount of money to keep up his bills. So the car that he currently has is my car that he got in the divorce. So he was only paying for, I guess, his house and his phone bill. But I mean, he said he had to work so many hours just to make ends meet. And I believe
Okay.
he was giving blood as well.
Okay, so you believe that a parent who works or has to work shouldn't have the kids. Is that your opinion?
No, that's not the case.
And do you feel that the court should award you the kids because you don't have a job right now?
Oh, no, that's not the case. I don't plan on working. But what the situation is that my brother was able to be there in the morning, evening, and until nighttime. And then my grandmother was going to be there because he lived with my grandmother. My grandmother worked nights as a sheriff.
Okay, so hold on.
That was the reason why it was easier for the kids to be with him because they would have an adult supervision.
Okay, so again, you feel it was in the best interest for the kids not to be with their father initially and instead being placed with your brother or taken overseas to Korea.
That is correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. And you only placed the kids with my client after blowback from the children themselves. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, so again, we have your testimony on record from the temporary orders hearing, but go ahead and explain to the court again how the kids came to be placed with my client.
There was no blowback. I don't know what blowback means. I'm sorry.
Okay.
No blowback.
Okay, but the kids wanted to live with their dad. Is that correct?
I had asked them, since you guys hadn't seen your dad in so many years, would you like to be with your father? They said yes. And that I said I would be. They were concerned about how we would come back because they did want to come back. They liked the structure and they liked the amount of money that I was able to spend on them and the time.
Okay, so have the kids expressed a preference of who they want to live with?
No, it was a question as to they wouldn't have gone if I didn't go to Korea.
Okay. Ms. Gallegos, who are you married to?
Michael Varela.
Okay. Do y'all fight a lot?
No, I think we're compatible.
Okay. And have y'all had any fights in front of the kids?
No,
Have you threatened to kick Michael out of the house?
no, no.
Okay. Hold on here. Do you get along with your neighbors?
I don't see them.
Have you had any disputes, disagreements, or anything with any of your neighbors?
I'm going to
No.
object, Your Honor. I'm not sure how this is relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant to the home environment these kids are being raised in.
Overrule. Go ahead and answer the question, please. Answer the question, please, ma'am.
I stated no.
Okay.
Okay, so you never got mad or in argument with the neighbors when a ball bounced over into their yard?
I'm going to object as to asked and answered, Your Honor.
No.
Overrule. Go ahead. She said no, your question.
Oh,
No.
okay, okay. Your Honor, I'd like to share my screen. I'd like to offer impeachment evidence.
All right.
All right. Now you
I'm go-
state,
I'm going to object to this automatically, Your Honor. I mean, this shows Naomi's old phone. This is a third party that's not present here. This is the oldest daughter.
this is being offered for impeachment, declarants under oath who made a statement that is contrary to the message here.
I'm going to sustain the objection.
All right. All righty. Ms. Gallegos, do you plan or have any plans to relocate from El Paso now that you're out of the military?
No.
Not at this time?
No, not ever.
Okay. And you do have family that lives in the DFW area, is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you have a couple of brothers, grandmother, maybe
Yes,
some
I-
other folks.
No, just my grandmother and my brothers, my aunt.
Okay, so you do have family in this area. That's my understanding.
Yes, I do.
Okay, we covered earlier the text messages which were entered as exhibits of you threatening, to take the kids with you overseas or to never let my client have the kids again. Do you recall that?
I do not recall.
You don't recall that from earlier today?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you have any text messages from Oscar Reyes threatening to keep the kids with him or away from you
No, I do not at this time.
at this time? Have you ever?
Yes, I had. As I was in Korea, I had a new phone. I had to get a Korean phone. So my old phone is no longer.
So do you have any of those messages available to
no,
offer?
not at
for
this
the-
time.
Okay, all right, thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Navejas?
Okay, Ms. Gallegos, when did you first attempt to get your kids when you came back from Korea?
The day after, it would be October, September the 1st or 2nd, I flew in. That next day, September 3rd.
Okay, and what happened when you attempted to retrieve them?
I was blocked. I had to email, text. I wasn't able to talk to them. He didn't answer any of my phone calls. The only time I got to call him was when I was in Seattle, and I was letting him know my next flight is this time and that I will be there in Dallas area to my hotel at this time, and that the next day, the following day, I'd be able to see them. And immediately after that phone call, I was blocked.
Okay. And has Mr. Arias ever threatened to keep the children from you?
He just hasn't answered any of my phone calls or text messages. He leaves when he knows I'm in town. He leaves with the kids. Not so much threatened, just pretty much not acknowledging that I'm there.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Your Honor, just a couple of follow-ups. So do you have any evidence to back up any of the testimony you just gave this court right now?
Not at this time.
You don't have any text messages?
Not at this time. I do, but I do not have it at this time.
Okay, well, if you do, why didn't you give them to your attorney?
I stated to you earlier that my phone is no longer available and that I would have screenshotted it and emailed it to me had I known he was going to go back on his word.
Okay, so all your allegations are supported by a lost phone or an old phone you no longer have. Is that correct?
Sure, yes.
Okay. Now, you stated you came back to the state September.
Yes.
But you didn't attempt to retrieve the kids until December 21st. Is that
Oh,
correct?
no, I attempted to retrieve them the day I flew into Seattle.
Okay, how did you attempt to retrieve the kids in September?
So I called him in Seattle and I said, this is the time that I'm connecting to the DFW and I will be there this date. And I gave him the date, the days I'll be in my hotel because I prepaid for 2 weeks to be in that hotel.
Okay.
I stated to him that I will be coming down to see them because I even got a hotel next to where he lives.
All right. So do you have any phone records to back up your claims?
I do not.
Okay. Do you have a hotel receipt for the booking of the hotel?
I do, but I do not have it at this time.
Okay, of course.
I did not know that he was going to go back on his word. Sorry.
Okay. Hey, we're in trial for a modification of current orders. You had notice of this trial today.
Right.
Next question, please.
So you didn't attempt to retrieve the kids in September?
Yes, I did.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained. Sustained.
You didn't make any actual efforts to travel to get the kids until the week of Christmas. Is that correct?
Objection asked and answered.
I
know that.
Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. It's been asked and answered. Let's proceed.
All right.
I remember all the testimony and the temporary orders, all that. I remember it. Go, proceed.
Right. So if you get the kids, would you ever place the kids with my client ever again?
No, if he said that he was available to see them, I definitely would meet him halfway or go like I usually do.
Yeah, I remember you said that earlier. You met him halfway to be nice. Is that correct? You would do that?
No, in Georgia and Alabama, I've stated to him multiple times that there was no way that I was going to meet him halfway, but there was times that he called numerous times. I can't meet them halfway. Can you please just meet me? I don't have enough gas. And I was like, you know what? That's fine. I'll meet you halfway.
All right. And again, you've got nothing, no communication substantiate that
No,
response. Okay, yeah. All right, Your Honor. No further questions at this time. I believe the court's aware of this situation.
All right. Any other questions of this witness?
No further questions of this witness, Your Honor.
You may call your next witness, Mr. Navejas.
I would call Michael Varela.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, Mr. Varela, you've been called as a witness now. You're under oath. You may proceed. Mr. Navejas, you may proceed.
Okay, would you please state your name for the record?
Michael Varela,
And what is your relationship to the parties?
Oscar Ari. I'm Lydia Gallegos' husband.
Okay, and you and Ms. Gallegos have children together?
Yes, we have two.
Okay, and the two children that are the subject of this suit, Oscar and Jacob, how long have you known them?
For about 5, 6 years.
Okay, and you're currently in the military. Are you in a deployable unit?
No,
Okay, so you plan to remain in El Paso?
correct. I already submitted a packet, a high school stabilization packet, so that way we are stabilized in El Paso for the rest of my career.
Okay, and Mr. Varela, do you and Ms. Gallegos fight often?
No,
Okay, and how would you describe Ms. Gallegos's interaction with her children?
lovely, motherly. She disciplines them when she needs to. But she's ultimately there. I know they always go to her when they have concerns or questions, or even just to talk. She's always open to the kids, no matter what time of day it is, no matter what.
Okay, and during the time Ms. Gallegos was deployed in Korea, where were you located?
I was located in Korea as well, but on the other side of the peninsula.
Okay, and when did you return to the United States?
I returned in November of 23.
Okay, and when did Ms. Gallegos return?
September 23.
Okay, and do you know where the children were during the time she was in Korea?
They were with their father.
Okay, and do you know when Ms. Gallegos attempted to retrieve the children?
Yes, I do. I know, because I'm the one that booked the hotel, so I know she attempted to retrieve them in September when she first got back, and then I also shot a text message to Oscar Arias December 5th, stating that we will be picking them up, and then he said he will not meet me halfway, and then
Your Honor, I'm gonna object to hearsay.
I have text messages to prove
Hold
it, Your
on,
Honor.
hold on.
No. I'm gonna say that's a party admission, Your Honor. If Mr. Arias told him.
No, it
Overruled.
isn't.
Well, okay, let me rule. Overruled. Go ahead. You can answer the question.
What was the question again?
It was, when did Ms. Gallegos first attempt to retrieve the children?
She attempted September when she first originally got back, and
then when did she next attempt to retrieve the children?
and then after that attempt, she was blocked. So when we reported here to Fort Bliss, I shot Oscar Arias a text message on December 5th, stating, "Hey, we will pick them up on December 23rd, since that's when their break starts, and we could just do it easily transfer from middle schools."
Okay, and what did Mr. Arias say?
He left me on red. He did not respond. And then I texted him again about the kids about a week later regarding something else, but he responded to that.
Okay, and did you travel with Ms. Gallegos to attempt to retrieve the children?
I did.
And when did you travel with her?
We traveled December 23rd, the 22nd, that Friday, because I worked those days still. So December 22nd, we drove at night to meet him there. And then December 23rd, we waited that day. And then that's when we realized that he wasn't answering or was not going to give the kids back.
Okay, and did you seek assistance from anybody to retrieve the children?
Yes, we called the sheriff or the deputy, and then they told us to call the constable on Monday or that Wednesday, since it was Christmas.
Okay, and nothing further at this time, Your Honor. I'll pass the witness.
Yes. So you stated you have text messages. Is that correct?
Correct.
Where are those text messages?
I sent them to Mr. Navarez.
Okay, so counsel has those text messages to present to the court today. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And are you aware that text messages substantiating your testimony have not been presented to the court at this time?
No,
You're not aware of that?
I don't know what that means. So
Okay. Now you stated you and or your spouse text to try to retrieve the children back in September. Is that correct?
correct.
Well, then why did you wait till December 23rd to come get the kids?
Because that was the day of their winter break that started. So it would be an easier transition. We already had the schools lined up so that they don't miss a beat on school. They could just start fresh here.
Okay, and did you communicate that to the kids whatsoever?
Correct. They were aware when my wife landed that's what was going to happen.
You're stating under oath the kids were aware they were moving and changing households the week of Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
They were made aware.
And how were they made aware?
Telephonics.
Okay, and do you have any phone records substantiate or any text messages to substantiate any of those conversations whatsoever?
That was on my wife's phone. She's the one that called them.
Okay, so y'all attempted to retrieve help me understand this because I don't get it. Y'all attempted to retrieve the children back in September, but you didn't actually do anything until the week of Christmas.
Well, we were there. My wife was there in DFW September 27th through October. I don't remember the exact dates, but I do have the hotel receipts to confirm that she was there to retrieve the kids.
Okay, you're absolutely right. So your spouse was in DFW back in September, late September. So why didn't the kids go home with her at that time? She saw the kids, right?
To my knowledge, yes.
Okay, so she saw the kids in late September, but they didn't go home with her. Why?
I believe it's because the house wouldn't be ready till November 1st.
What house?
The house that we currently live in, because it's on post housing. So there's a minimum of a 30-day wait.
Well, where were y'all living at that time? I mean, you just stated under oath you tried to retrieve the children September 1st.
One question at a time, please.
So where were the kids going to live with y'all September 1st?
It wasn't September 1st. It was going to be end of September.
Okay. You stated.
But then I also have I'm from El Paso, so we have substantiating family members here to help us coordinate everything that we needed to do for the kids.
Okay. So again, I'm going to ask just to make sure we're clear before the court. You and or your spouse traveled to DFW in late September, and then she left back to El Paso and didn't take the kids with her. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you stated earlier that you and your spouse don't fight a lot.
Correct.
You remember that? Have you and your spouse ever fought in front of the children?
Not at all.
Okay. Has Miss Gallegos ever threatened to kick you out of the house?
No, sir.
Okay, so back in June of last June, she didn't threaten to kick you out of the house.
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered. His first question was, has she ever done it? And his second question was giving a specific date.
Overrule. Go ahead. It's close. Go ahead and answer the question.
No.
Do you and your spouse get along with your neighbors?
We really don't see our neighbors. We all have different work schedules, so we really don't.
All right. So have you and or your spouse had any run-ins or disagreements with your neighbors?
No.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, I'm gonna pass this witness.
Nothing further, this witness, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll put you back in the waiting room, Mr. Varela.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Well. Your next witness, Mr. Navejas?
I believe we rest and close unless, Lydia, do we have another witness or no?
My brother's unavailable.
Okay, so we rest and close, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Layer, anything in rebuttal?
We rest and close. I just like a short closing statement.
All right, you may proceed.
All right, Your Honor. Your Honor, I know this is a tough decision for the court and I don't envy it. But, you know, there's a lot of testimony by respondent that wasn't substantiated by any proof whatsoever. And I just like the court to take that into consideration when it issues its ruling. My client is stable, has a suitable household. The fact that he works should not be held against him. Default orders were granted, again, by default, and my client's trying to modify those. And we're not trying to penalize a military member for deploying overseas. The court did not have a chance to confer with the children, but the children are performing well and doing well socially and academically in their home. There's family from both sides available to these children in DFW. And, you know, we just respectfully request the court to allow petitioner to maintain the residence of these two boys and to raise them in that environment. And, you know, again, we do request guideline support, but that's secondary. That's not a stumbling block for us, as it's been stated that respondent, you know, frequently doesn't pay for things. But
Going to object to that.
we're just requesting again, you know, for the,
Stay to the sidebar.
all right. We just request maintaining of the status quo and, you know, until further order of the court, we request a modification accordingly.
Navejas?
All right, Your Honor, the only reason the children came to be in possession of Mr. Arias is because of my client's deployment. I think both parties have acknowledged that by presenting them and allowing Mr. Arias to keep them, that will be give a chilling effect to military service members to place the children with the non-custodial parent during their deployment. Ms. Gallegos, all she's doing is asking for the court to uphold what it had previously ruled, that she would be the person with the primary right to determine the children's residence. We are asking for guideline child support, but as Mr. Layer stated, we are that is secondary. My client just wants to have her children back. She is specifically out of the military so that she could accommodate all of her children. We believe it would be a disservice to these children to separate them from their siblings. Testimony was that they are close to their siblings, and we believe that they have a positive influences in their life with Mr. Varela and Ms. Gallegos, both of whom have served admirably in the military, and both of whom have raised their own two children, plus Ms. Gallegos' own three other children who currently reside with her.
All right. Any further comments?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you for your time.
Okay, this is what I'm going to order. I'm going to order the children be placed back with the mother. She's going to be the primary custodian. You know, I heard nothing. There was an agreement. There's been nothing to refute the fact that there was an agreement that while she was deployed, that the children would stay with the father. And only later, I know the children are stable right now. I have no reason to believe they won't continue to be stable with the mother. There's nothing no evidence to present that. So that's going to be the order of the court. The child support, I don't remember what the child support was from the father under the previous orders, but do y'all want to chime in on that?
I don't know that child support was ordered. I do have a copy of the decree with me.
All right. Okay. That's one thing I wanted to get straight procedurally in this case. And that was that there was a petition for divorce. There was a default order, a default judgment that was signed. And then after that, did you file a bill of review in another cause number, Mr. Layer? Do you know?
Yeah, I believe, yeah, there was some
There was
cross.
that.
I don't remember off the top of my head, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
But at any rate, that was granted, right? I mean, as I recall, that was granted, and that's important procedurally because I need to know exactly whether there's any. Jacqueline, would you see whether there's any related cases to this, so that we know procedurally how we're proceeding here?
All right, let's see. Let me pull that up. Yeah, Your Honor, I don't believe we were retained in time enough to submit a bill review to, well, maybe.
I don't have anything, any related case.
All right, hold on. I've got it up.
I believe both parties filed a petition for writ of habeas corpus or something along those lines.
Yeah,
Emergency.
I do remember that.
All right. Okay.
Your
Okay,
Honor.
so the last judgment then is that default judgment. And therefore, this modification is what I'm ordering. This modification, the default judgment, let me see, default judgment in the case. Let's see.
Yeah, at that time, my client requested no child support.
All right, I don't see a judgment in this case other than the temporary orders that I used.
Okay. I have
So, I mean,
that's correct, Your Honor. No child support was ordered per the
And
coroner orders.
technically speaking, I mean, during this whole time, were these couple ever divorced?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. I have a file stamped default decree of divorce
Well,
dated
that's
March.
what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, and I've got it up as well.
The
Okay.
file stamp date is March 15th, 2019, Your Honor.
All right, and that establishes the mother as the primary custodian, correct?
Yeah. And the
All
sole
right.
managing conservator at that time.
Okay, well, they're going to be joint managing conservators, so I'm gonna change that. They're going to be joint managing conservators with her being the primary. Did that order him to pay child support?
No,
It did not.
Okay,
And I've got it up right here if the court wants to see it.
okay.
And visitation was by mutual agreement only at
All
that
right,
time.
well, then it'll be the standard and the standard visitation for parents that live over 100. So that's gonna be the order of the court, including the standard summer visitations. Okay, so gentlemen, can you all agree as to when the exchange will be taking place?
Yeah, we can work with counsel.
All right. Mr. Arias, you're to be commended for being the father that you've been, but I have to honor agreements. And you had an agreement with her, and there was, other than preferences of children, and I understand how that goes, they're having a good time with their dad, and that, it's the same thing. You have to honor those agreements.
Can I say anything, Your Honor?
No, that's it. I mean, you've put in all the evidence. I don't think anything else is going to change. I know the kids are going to have a hard time in this move. I know that.
They're going to be
Eventually,
devastated.
They're going to survive. They're good boys. They're resilient. They're strong. They have two good parents. That's the good thing about it. Y'all need to get along pertaining to those children. And that's going to be the order of the court. The child support, again, it's left hanging. I didn't hear any evidence on, well, I did hear evidence based on his salary. You can calculate that.
Well, Your Honor, the current order is 0.
Yeah, I know, but we heard evidence already. We heard evidence on that. So,
So is the court changing that?
well, I think the evidence supports it. And it was heard without objection, his salary. Now, did you make pleadings regarding child support, Mr. Navejas?
We did not, Your Honor.
Okay, well, I don't have anything to rule on that. That's the way it remains.
Yeah. we're
If
not gonna
later
wait.
you want to file a motion to modify, you can do that. But as the record stands now, you don't have any pleadings praying for child support, then I'm not going to order it
Okay.
at this time. All right.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
May we be excused?
Okay, just tell me when you're going to get me an order. Mr. Navejas, when can I expect an order from you, sir?
Oh, I thought Mr. Layer was the petitioning party.
Well,
he's-
you're the winner, though.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. What does the court typically ask for, Judge?
30 days.
Okay, 30 days it is.
So in 30 days, you prepare a proposed order. You send it to Mr. Layer as soon as you prepare it. Hopefully it's before 30 days. The 30 days is the deadline. You can have it done before then.
That would
Okay.
be August 9th at 4 p.m.
August 9th at 4 p.m. and that'll be by submission.
Submission.
No live hearing. But you send it to Mr. Layer. If Mr. Layer has any objection as to the form of the order, then he'll state it in a letter to me and you, indicating how the document you presented to him doesn't conform with what I ordered. So again, I'm granting the modification. The parties are named joint managing conservators. All right, she is named the primary. He is entitled to visitation, the standard visitation for parents who live over 100.
Will I be able to keep my kids a few more weeks till the summer's over?
That's what I asked your attorneys to. They said
Okay.
they told me they would get with y'all to agree as to that. If you
Yeah.
cannot agree, then I will order when they are to be turned over.
Yeah. Miss Gallegos just got her 42 days. All right. We'll work with counsel.
Counsel, can you all work that out?
I'm sure we can, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if you can't, you send me something, I'll send you a letter ruling on when they're to be turned over. But
All right.
I expect, when do they start school?
August 20th. August, around that first week of August, 18th through the 20th. That's where they start here in El Paso.
I'm gonna go ahead and order that they be turned over 7 days before August 20th. Should be on-
August 13th.
Yes. What does that fall on?
That would be a Tuesday, Your Honor.
Okay, they have to be over there a little bit more time, to get ready for school. So that's what I'm gonna say, the 13th. Just put that, that's the order of the court. Anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I expect to see a proposed order by August 9th. And the final order in this case, granting the modification. If there's any objection as to form, work it out. If you can't, send me a letter, each of you, how you feel your proposed order is what I ordered, or how it's not, Mr. Lair.
All right. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, good luck to you all.
Thank you.
All
Take
right.
care.
May we be excused?
Will you
Yes.
be excused? All right.
Thank
Yes.
you, Judge.
Mhm.